What's up guys, Chaz here. If you're new to my channel, I basically teach you photography tips on how you can better your photography. If you'd like to take a look at my work, I'll have an Instagram link down in the description. My name is CM Visuals. Today, we're going to be talking about how to make a Lightroom preset. I personally use Lightroom presets for photos that I like to have a certain style or a certain look, and so I'll make a preset so I can continuously go back to that without having to adjust my settings each time. All right, so we're going to hop right in. Stay tuned. Alright, so let's get started here. So this is a raw image. I haven't done any edits to it. Generally, what I like to go do is I'll start with the simple stuff. I try not to mess with the exposure too much because when you are using the preset, you'll have to remember that the exposure will adjust and not all your photos will have the same exposure. So I typically like to leave that alone. So I usually first start with the highlights, drop them down a little bit, and then the shadows, I'll boost them up. And then all the other tabs, like the whites for instance, I kind of, depending on the picture, I like to adjust the tab, move it to the left a little bit, see if it looks better or worse. And so that's how I can kind of tell what I like on my photos. So we'll boost that up a little bit. Then play with the blacks. So I'll set it right there. And typically after that, I like to go into coloring. So what I do notice is this picture has a lot of grays. So once I adjust the blues, they'll move along with the picture. The color will adjust where it finds blue. And so that's what I typically look for. Then notice there's green in here. So now I'll adjust the greens how I want. Skin tones or oranges, so typically adjust those. Add a little contrast to the shot. And then always I go to lens correction and click those two. It'll take that little ring, outer ring on the outside of your photos. It's almost like a vignette the camera adds. And then occasionally I'll go ahead and adjust the calibration. So just remember, whenever you're moving these around, you check, does it help the photo? Does it hurt it? And so that's typically how I would like to go about making a preset. And so I'm going to go back up to temperature and adjust, cool it down a little bit. All right. And so then after that, I go to before and after, kind of see what work I've done. And so you can kind of tell a little difference in between the photos. And so then if I like how that looks, I'll go ahead and I'll make a preset. So then we go up here, we go to develop, new preset. And the settings right here are basically everything that I've changed. And you can either check these or reduce it or take the check off and decide on what you want that preset to adjust. So if I take this off and I've adjusted the exposure, it won't touch the exposure, but I like to typically leave that alone. So then I'll name this preset. We'll name it preset 1 for this tutorial. And boom, now you have a preset. But one thing that you should typically remember is a lot of the times these photos will need adjusting. So let me try to find a photo that's okay. So let's try this one for instance. I have presets that I've made here on the side, and so let's go to the one I made. It's called preset 1. Notice that it does not look like the picture that we originally just worked on, and that's because you're going to have to go in there and adjust based on the photo. So I'll always have to go in there and slightly change some things to make the preset fit the photo that I'm doing. Because not a lot of times each photo will necessarily work with each preset. And so there's a before and after, and as you could see, I've made adjustments to it, and so it's going to look a little different on photos. This one was taken underground, so there was no direct sunlight. It's a little darker, so everything is going to be a little different. And yeah, that's one thing I would recommend is when you're making your preset, always remember that you will most likely have to adjust each preset to the photo. So let's do one more. So let's go to this new image, blank, reset, make sure it's reset. So this one is a little bit on the darker side. So I'm going to boost the shadows up. And then I'm going to drop the highlights again. I typically do this each time I do anything, if I make a new edit to the photo. If I don't even use my presets, I always adjust these. I don't always typically move these, but I'll move them to see if they help the photo out or not. And then I typically leave vibrance and saturation alone. I typically will adjust those once I get to Photoshop, when I switch my photo to Photoshop. So let's say you want to make this photo a little bit warmer, add warmer tones. Adjust the tint. Let's go down here and adjust some of the oranges. And then again, lens correction. And then again, just remember, kind of moving things around, seeing, does it help your photo? Does it make it look worse? And tell the difference there. In this case, I'm just going to drop the saturation down a little bit for this preset. Alright, so then if I like how this looks, and I'm like, hey, I may want this on a couple of photos that fit this criteria of photo. So then again, go up to develop, new preset, and then hit preset name, preset 2, and hit create. And then that puts the preset right here. Alright, so that's how you make a preset. There is no real right way. You're really gonna have to play with the settings over here and kind of figure out what you like on your photos. But this is typically the process that I like to do. Alright, that's it. If you found this video helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe. It'll really help the channel grow. That way I can continue to help you and make videos that help you. Alright, thank you for watching.